I'm Shakila Maharaj, the Managing Director of Shakila Accessible Media. I am the innovator behind our mobile app Describer. Our company creates access to visual media for persons with visual disabilities. We do this through the art form of audio description. And there are two aspects to our business. One is content development, where we take film, movies, and we take tours of various destinations and now illustrated books, and moving into also commercial material, and we make it available to visually impaired persons by adding audio description to it. And our app is the method by which we distribute it, and the app is called Describer. So what has inspired me is my own personal story. So I went blind in my early 20s and realized I could still see. I could see through words. When people described to me what they were looking at, I would see it in my mind's eye. And so description became a critical survival skill for me to teach people how to describe properly and also describe to me. I loved doing all the visual things that everyone else did. Going to the cinema, going to art galleries, visiting places. I later came to realize that audio description was the art form and an access tool that was actually emerging to do exactly what I was experiencing in my personal life. So I trained in it, and then I came back to South Africa. That was in the USA in 2009, and I came back and I set up my first company, Audio Describe International. And then I later went on to set up Shakila Accessible Media, which is currently the company where I train youth in these skills, and the intention is to transfer skills and to create employment, but also to ensure that we benefit from this art form. So my personal story then is what motivated me to do this. And the app itself, well, that's where I saw the gap. And the gap being that to create audio description soundtracks and to integrate them into film and to tourism audio soundtracks, I needed for them to be made available to visually impaired persons on television or in the cinema. And cinema and television were not accessible in the sense that they don't have capability for audio description. So the app became the method by which to sync up the description soundtracks with what's playing on the external device. So it's audio synchronized with video on any external device. So if you go to the cinema, if you go to watch television and you put on the earphones and you turn on the app, it listens to the big screen, or it listens to the television screen or your computer screen, and it starts to describe to you what you're watching. And in that way then, visually impaired persons can follow what they're looking at. So my personal experience has actually guided what I ended up working on. So the relevance of my innovation to society is based first on how relevant it's been to my life. In my life, especially during my blindness, whatever benefited me as a blind person, I felt I should share it with other blind persons. And that's how I got into audio description. The way I see the app is it's creating access to information, visual information. And when you create access to information, you are creating access to life itself. If we are now enabling visually impaired persons to see film, and film tells the story of culture, of individuals, of history, of a country, of geography, of every topic under the sun. So if visually impaired persons now can watch and understand film, not only can they relate to it and understand it and communicate about it, they can also become part of this industry. They can start to write and tell their own stories. They can begin to participate in the entire value chain of the film industry. It's opening jobs. It's also revealing talents that may not have ever been known before. And I'm seeing this just in one sector. It can be in all sectors. So the impact for me is catalytic. That's the way I see the influence of audio description as well as our app. The challenges that I faced along the way in my journey, and I have no doubt I'll continue to, have all been challenges that have led to growth. Because with every challenge is a problem that needs to be solved. and that solution only leads to improvement. The first challenge, I think, was the lack of awareness around what we were doing, not only with the industries that we were dealing with, but also with visually impaired persons themselves. Many blind people don't realize that they can watch television equally, that they can go to the cinema. Many just choose not to do that and focus perhaps just on audiobooks or other types of experiences. So creating awareness was very important. An example is I run an audio description movie club. I partnered with the KZN Film Commission, and thank goodness I found a CEO that believed in what I was doing, and she became a champion for audio description. And that partnership has materialized a wonderful initiative that today we have created 60 movies focused on local filmmakers and in local languages. So today, visually impaired persons in South Africa can watch film about our country in our local languages with audio description. That's just a start in our 4 years of existence. So the Audio Description Movie Club was an initiative to develop audiences, to develop film appreciation within my own sector. But within the industry, I had to convince filmmakers, and I'm still doing that we are a viable market, that you need to extend beyond the scene market. We are over 700 million aging persons that have visual impairments. You put those figures together, you got a population bigger than the size of Africa. We're a significant market, a silent giant, and we're ignored. So making the industry aware of this is so important, and not just aware, convincing them of the viability. So right now, filmmakers are not prepared to pay for audio description. They're not prepared to pay to put the content on our app. So we have to apply for grants, and we enter innovation challenges, and we apply to all types of grants to promote what we do and secure funding. And that's how today we're able to get where we are. So I must say, we've come a long way in the 4 years. Audio description is gradually becoming a household word. More and more understand this. We have extended beyond the film industry into tourism. I find the tourism industry very receptive because accessibility for them has been a prerequisite. So we're actually addressing a solution, we're bringing them a solution that they need to have in place. And I'm very confident that it's only a matter of time when all sectors, when anyone who produces any kind of video content, from still images, graphics, to moving content like motion images, and I'm not even telling you about live description, like theater, like sports, all of that has the potential to be audio described. And all of that needs to now become inclusive and bring persons with visual disabilities along. So it's creating awareness, it's creating an understanding around the viability of the market, and it's making the industries realize that we are already spending, we're already part of your market, but you don't know it, you don't acknowledge us, and you're not communicating equally to us. When I look at my innovation in 5 years' time, I see it as a lifestyle app. I see it as an app where persons will just go to it and open it up, and it'll help them to understand the visual world. If they want to see a movie, if they want to understand an advert on television, if they want to buy a product, the app is describing it to them. And it's helping them to make decisions independently, make choices independently, and feel empowered that they're part of the mainstream world. I would like to leave everyone with the thought and understanding that audio description is just not a nice to have. It's not just an art form, and in that way, audio description brings accessibility and creativity together, joins hands. And when we talk about accessibility, it's getting rid of barriers that limit our ability to move freely and function freely in this world. I would love for everyone to contact me. My mobile number is 083-263-9870. The company email address is info or admin@shazasson.com. We are on most social media platforms, so you can simply put in Shazasson. Some of these platforms are evolving, some are more developed, and our app is simply describe at, not the symbol AT, but the letters AT, and you will find it on the Google Play Store. And for non-Android users, it's app.shazasson.com. And I want to say a huge thank you and my deep gratitude to Innovate Durban for creating this video and taking our story to the world.